So first thing you'll notice when you're going up to my office is that there's all these display pieces from Taco Bell and McDonald's from back in the day. We have this Star Wars Phantom Menace display, Spider-Man Happy Meal toy display from the Spider-Man animated series, Godzilla display from Taco Bell, and a ton of VHS tapes. So essentially what I wanted to do with this was kind of feel like I'm going back in time as I'm walking up these stairs. We have some fun colors with these VHS tapes. I really just wanted it to kind of lift my mood and I don't know, kind of inspire me to be creative when I'm working. And I think having all this stuff here as one of the first things you encounter definitely helps my mindset get into a fun space. Down here we could see some of the VHS tapes that I have, and up top as well. These are all double stacked down here. So I have some cool things from when I was a kid, some things from before my time, some things from after my time, but a nice representation of everything here. More adult movies up here that I like. Again, these are all double stacked. If we go to these top shelves, these all have the spines facing outwards. Some Crazy Bones here. Twilight Zone collection that I found thrifting. Some wrestling tapes and a bunch of stuff up over here. And over here we have more tapes as well. And down here I started doing a collection of tapes that my wife likes. So like Jim Carrey movies, we have that here. Coming in, I made these sliding phone booth style doors, which really gives you that retro feel. And then behind here we have even more tapes. Then I have some boxes from my consoles, PS2, Switch, some Nintendo Switch controllers. And have a PS1 controllers, PSP, my scanners over here. And then my PS1 collection. Moving down here, we have some more tapes. So we have some Digimon tapes and I think Pokemon behind those. The Mummy animated series. So over here I have some cinema chairs that I got as a gift actually, and I had to find a spot in my room to put them. So I had a shelf there, and the shelf was kind of just used for junk. So I consolidated some stuff and put that there, which is good if I have multiple people up here. There's a space to sit, and I'll occasionally watch a movie and sit in those chairs, pull it out, and use it like it's intended to be. Some signs and other things I got as a gift. Mars Attacks display piece, which I really love the design of that. Some other random things as we go down here. Things from my Nickelodeon collection. So we have the Blast Pack, Night Talker, Photo Blaster, Pocket Blaster, the Nickelodeon mouse pad from Brainworks, Time Blaster in the back, another Blast Pack variation, pencil sharpener, and phone blaster on the bottom. We got the Inspector Gadget toy from McDonald's, complete. I do have the watch belt It's actually tucked back in there. So over here, have a bunch of Nintendo consoles that are either waiting to be repaired, in the process of being repaired, or have been repaired. Also have the Nickelodeon Blast Box, Zerg, some cassette tapes, more consoles, Dreamcast, GameCube, SNES is over there. Over here I have some of my Batman movies and Ren and Stimpy collection. I used to be super into collecting Batman movies, and then the new stuff DC is doing just doesn't resonate with me, so kind of lost interest in that. We have mostly Xbox 360 games over here. So a few things, not a huge collection. Some of my PSP games and UMD movies. Kind of a bit of VHS overflow. Some Dreamcast games over here. Not a huge collection either. They're just so expensive, and I have the GDEMU mod on my console, so it's hard to justify collecting Dreamcast games. But if there is a game that I really want, then I'll purchase it. Up top we have the Incredible Edibles grocery maker. This was a really cool toy. I wanted to have it in my collection. I love the kind of like the slime themed toys from back in the 90s. So I definitely want to have this as a prominent piece that's kind of showcased. And then these old horror themed board games. I think they're really cool, and I love the artwork on some of them. So I really like this one, and I wanted to have it out on display. Sega Saturn game up here. I was looking for this guy. I forgot where I put it. We'll leave that there for now. A couple backup PS1s, just in case. You never know if all four consoles are gonna burn out on you, and you need a backup. Up top, my Atari 2600 and 2600 collection of games. These are too deep. The Game Boy Advance Ring cartridges that I made up. So I wanted to keep one for my collection. But these play the haunted video from the movie The Ring. And it's just kind of like a spoof thing that I made. We'll get that set back up. Small collection of PS3 games. I'm not super into that console. I was always a PlayStation guy up until that came out, and just didn't resonate with me. I was getting older, and then I did end up getting the Xbox 360 because a lot of my friends had gotten it, and then Xbox Live was a pretty big thing. So it was more of a social console for me than a gaming console. Like, we would just hop on, chat in parties, and sometimes not even play a game. Some of my PS4 games, I really don't have a lot of love for these later consoles. Then I have my Dreamcast kiosk, which is definitely a highlight of my collection. Was super excited when I got this, and it's something that I'm not sure that I'll ever part with. I talked about it before. They're just so expensive right now. I mean, there's two listed for $15,000. Whether they sell for that or not, maybe I think a realistic figure right now might be like $3,500, but I just would never spend that much on something like that. And I got mine at a good time. It was a reasonable price, and I love the design of it so much. I've done a ton of videos talking about this thing, so I don't need to bore you with more of the same, but I think it's such a beautiful design. So really happy to have it, and I love the Dreamcast. Laid out over here, I have the Taco Bell coin drop game. This was something I was looking for a little while, and I was finally able to get one. this is another thing that has kind of skyrocketed in value. I bought mine for maybe like 70 bucks, and I've seen a couple listed for like $2,000, which is just nuts. Have some Animorph books over here. The Nickelodeon desk thing. Have another phone blaster. Just some fun things laying out over here. And, you know, continuing throughout my room, have some artwork hanging up that I like. I'm a big fan of the old monster movies. And these prints I got a while ago, I think like back in 2010 or so at a Comic-Con. So just really cool pieces, wanted to have them displayed. My Crash themed pillows that I designed. We have a kids meal display from Taco Bell, which it's kind of cool because they don't even do kids meals anymore. So this was probably from the early 2000s, maybe the late 90s, but I'm thinking probably early 2000s. Then over here I have my collection of books from the 90s, so all different series like Bunnicula, the Bailey school books. These were always like really fun to read, like this cover always kind of stuck with me over the years. It's like, if you're not familiar with it, it's like a bunch of kind of like monster themed books where like Dracula's the teacher, or you know, a zombie is my soccer coach. Just fun things like that. We have some Bone Chiller books up over here. Obviously a lot of Goosebump books. I actually found my original collection at my parents' house still, so that was pretty cool. I got to like go through and kind of like look at some of the books that I had when I was a kid. So it's all Goosebumps, Captain Underpants, Fear Street, Magic Treehouse books. I always thought these were pretty cool as a kid. I read them when I was pretty young. Tales from the Crypt, Wishbone. I got that from Mako Powered. Thanks again, man. Babysitter's Club. Just a bunch of fun stuff in here. And again, just my desktop where I work on stuff. Have that cool desk mat from Custom Envy that I was talking about in another video, mimicking the control panel overlay from Street Fighter vs. X-Men and other Capcom games. My CRT setup, have a bunch of consoles set up on here. Master System, Genesis, Xbox, PS2, PS1, SNES, NES, and a VCR. And it's all on a switcher, so I can just turn on whatever I want to play and hit the input. I'm still getting this all set up over here. It's kind of a mess right now. So this all needs to be finished. I have a small collection of some of my GameCube games over here. Some computer games, loose GameCube stuff. My PS2 kiosk, made by Kids Work. Or not Kids Work, Kids Space. Moving down, we have my SNES, Dreamcast, VCR, cassette player, computer, 360, Nintendo 64 with the slime stand, and record player with the headphone and amp. And a bunch more VHS tapes, which are stacked too deep, with tape stacked on top, going pretty far back as well. There's even tapes tucked up in there. So big on the VHS tapes. Up top is my PS2 collection. So a lot of games. Some BattleBots, a toy from I think 2000 by Trendmaster. So that wraps up the tour of my office. We'll move down to my workshop and arcade. Alright, so this is my workshop out here. I have Star Wars Trilogy Deluxe cabinet. Have the Lost World Jurassic Park arcade. And I also have Off-Road Thunder tucked away over here. Which this cabinet might be going this week. Have it up for sale. It's actually one of my favorite games to play. So if it does sell, I'm gonna miss it. I do want to move on to like the next project, and I don't want to be really packed on room. But this game was a blast to play, and I don't really remember it from the 90s. I remember seeing it but never playing it, and I honestly think it's one of the best racers, arcade racers of the 90s. I've played them all: Rush, Cruisin', I have Cruisin' USA, I have Cruisin' World, Cruisin' Exotica I played plenty. This game is awesome, and it's not that recognizable to a lot of people, but really a blast to play. I recommend checking it out if you ever get a chance to. So in here is the actual game room, the arcade as we call it, as it's filled with arcades and arcade parts. A lot of fun games. Last year I had this stacked with a bunch of working games. I have two projects in here right now. I have this Miss Pac-Man that's in Dynamo HS1 cabinet. And then I have this Tapper arcade that I had got as a gift, and I haven't had the time to really do anything on it yet. But I do have some parts, so there'll be a video coming in the future as I start working on it. I have Metal Slug over there being obnoxiously loud. So starting with this first cabinet, this has been a kind of a work in progress and has been transitioning through different games. It's a Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet that was set up for world-class bowling, and I was getting ready to convert it back to MK2, but my wife really likes these hunting games, even though she's an animal lover, so kind of ironic, but they're fun games to play, so I decided to put this in for the time being, and I was in the process of making a control panel for this. So that's a bit of a work in progress, but you can go through it and play it. It's a lot of fun. Sega Hang-On. Sega Hang-On, really fun motorcycle racing game. So over here we have the multi-game trackball arcade that I just set up. So like most of the games I have, you can go through and pick a different game you want to play. So now it was on World Class Bowling, and it'll boot up Simpsons Bowling. Pac-Mania is another arcade that I've done a video on before, and this is set up as a 4-way joystick with one button. So any game that has a 4-way joystick and uses one button, you can go in and play. Galaga, Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong. Of course, the other Pac-Mans on here as well. Then my 2-slot Neo Geo, which is in an HS1. This is a cabinet that people don't really gravitate to, and you kind of have to coach them on the different games. Like I have Puzzle Bobble on here right now, and that's a really easy game for people to approach and learn and get familiar with. So once they get used to like the games on here, it's usually something that people absolutely love to play. And then down here I have the button so you could switch over to the second game. So Metal Slug is in there now. I do have a decent amount of MVS cartridges. So Street Hoops is a favorite. Baseball Stars, Super Sidekicks 3 is great. I think the Neo Geo has, let me switch this. I think the Neo Geo has some of the best sport games ever made for the arcade. Like Street Hoops I think is so much better than NBA Jam. Obviously they're known for their fighting games, and it's just such a fun arcade to play. And this cabinet over here just has one of those 60-in-1 boards in it. This is kind of used as an 8-way joystick cabinet. So play the marquee game 1942 on here, or Time Pilot. Then over here I have X-Men vs Street Fighter, which this is one of my favorite games in the series. I really love the sprites and all the background designs. So this is actually one of the least played cabinets. I guess my friends aren't huge fighting game fans. And moving down, I have the Cruisin' USA arcade, sit-down version. Classic game. I have the Cruisin' World board, which is interchangeable in this. You can switch between Cruisin' USA and World with just the matter of unplugging one board and plugging the other one in. I've done videos on showing that before. But this is a favorite for people to play. So guys, that'll pretty much wrap up this tour. Eventually, my goal for this year is to finish up this arcade out here, sheetrock it, finish running the electric and installing everything that I want, and getting Tapper running, and then doing something with this HS1 cabinet. So that's where we'll end it here. Thank you guys for checking it out. Hope you guys liked the tour. I know you've been asking for an update for a while, so this is where we're at. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.